Focus is important. Are you able to go from being able to study for 5 minutes to study for hours on end? Let's find out. 2 years ago, I made the decision to go to Japan and study their language. I went to this small island where this language school would teach me every day for 3 months. When I got there on my first day of school, the class was wonderful and I learned a lot. But after the class, I wanted to learn more. I wanted to study by myself. So I went to this small Japanese cafe, sat down, got all my stuff ready, and I started to concentrate. And before I knew it, I was distracted. I was scrolling on my phone for 30 minutes at a time and I didn't even know I was distracted. And you know what I realized? I never learned how to study. I never taught myself. And that day, I got home and I just felt so much and I didn't know what to do. I went to my apartment and I started scrolling on my phone on YouTube. And I saw this thing, a meditation, Isha Kriya from Sadhguru. And I clicked on it. And I started watching. And it was a meditation for 15 minutes. Just sit there with a few different parts, repeat something in your head, and just focus on the breath. So I thought, let's give it a try. So I did it. It was very hard, sitting there all stiff and just trying to focus on this one thing, and it's uncomfortable. All these different thoughts getting through my head, but I realized something. I realized what I was missing when I tried to study. I realized that if I learn this ability, when I recognize every time I get distracted, studying will become so much easier. So when I did my first meditation, I thought, hey, I can use this meditation as a training to create this ability for myself, to recognize when I get distracted. How would I do this? So with meditation, you're just focusing your attention on one thing. This one thing for the meditation I was doing was breathing. So every time a thought comes in my head, I'm just like, distracted, thought. Bring it back to the breathing, to the focus. And that would happen like 20, 30 times every time. It's just, okay, back to the focus. Thinking, back to the focus. And by doing this day after day, because the first few times it's so hard, uncomfortable, and it was weird, and wasn't sure if it was gonna work, but I felt a slight change happening. So the next time, when I was sitting there, ready to study, I thought to myself, okay, I'll be kind to myself. Let's just start with 10 minutes of focus. Because that was new too, just sitting there focusing. I gave myself 10 minutes to focus, and then I would take a 5-minute break. And then I start over. 10 minutes of focus, 5 minutes of break. And I did repetitions of that. And every time my alarm would go off, I would start doing some push-ups. Walk around, make the head empty again, and just be ready again for the focus. I did that for the first week. And then after that week, I added an extra 5 minutes to the focus time. And I added 5 more minutes every week after that. And it was working. With meditating every day, I really found a change. It was a slight change in the beginning, but it worked. Every time I got distracted, I realized quicker and quicker before I was doing it for hours and hours. So it was like, distracted, no, I'm trying to study. And by being so kind to myself, I was just saying, okay, let's just start small. And then slowly growing, I think I could just train it like a muscle. It's that attention. And I can still remember that it was very hard because I would get distracted often, especially because there were so many things happening around me. And just, every time that happened, just take a breath, come back to the focus. By using meditating as this training, I went from being able to not even sit there and just focus to understanding when I get distracted And I grew my focus and concentration by just slightly adding more every time I tried. And I think those break times were crucial, especially getting the heart rate up, because I read somewhere that when you get your heart rate rising again, that helps refocus as well. This whole process gave me a mind shift change. I can still remember, at the end of the 3 months, I was sitting on top of my apartment building, looking out over the city with a sunset. And I thought to myself, this is just the beginning. And I can tell, after this last year, I know now how important it is to have just focus on one thing at a time. Because last year, my focus was on jiu-jitsu. And I had periods of times where I was training like between 10 and 13 times a week. And I gained so much growth compared to what I was doing before. And it gave me so much excitement as well to have just this one thing to put all my attention to. And now for this year it's making videos. And it's super exciting because there are so many aspects to it, like editing, filming, storytelling. I really want to learn how to create this process of being able to document where I am now to where I want to go. And it's just so exciting. I feel by having that concentration to this one thing at a time, it is as the Stoics say, you don't need a lot to live a happy life. And I see that now with the concentration I've gained over the last years, that if you just choose one thing at a time, put all your focus into it, you get excited, you get happy, and it feels great. This was an amazing experience for me, and I got a lot of value out of it. And it all started just with me having this idea of going to Japan to study and learn more about their language. I think meditation is a wonderful thing. And it's a very broad concept, because for the white thing that's on the ground that we call snow, like Eskimos have 10 different words for. And the same is true with meditation. Meditation is one word, but it has so many different meanings. And for me now, it has the meaning of being able to get better at focusing. And it has given me so much more benefits, like enjoying the smaller things and being more still in the mind, more tranquil, or being able to just shrug it off when someone says something. I think that focus is a muscle that anyone can train. Start small, give yourself time, because it's hard, because everything that's worth doing is hard. And it's fun when you look back on it and you've done it. It's really cool. On this channel, I upload things that I learn, and I upload interviews that I do with amazing, interesting people. And I try to upload one video a week. So if you like seeing more, join the Sandman community. And if you have any thoughts or questions, pop them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.